Good morning, students. Welcome to today's lesson on methods of teaching biology. This lesson is session 4 of Unit 3. And in this lesson, we are going to discuss biological field trip and project work. So after studying this session, you'll be able to perform the following. You'll be able to explain what a biological field trip is, describe how to organize a biological field trip, state the benefit of biological field trips, and then discuss how project work is initiated. And also, you'll be able to describe how to carry out a project work. Now, when we say a biological field trip, what is it? So, excursions are opportunities for students to outdoor studies. So, the excursions can also be referred to as field trips. It is one of the valuable orthodox methods that needs to be used as much as possible for students to know what the teaching is about. So when we say a field trip, what is a field trip? Now, a field trip is an educational tour or a visit by learners to a place away from their normal environment. It could be a beach, a zoo, a factory, or a place where students can go and learn. So the purpose of the field trip is to offer the learners opportunity to learn at first-hand biological concepts, principles, and then processes. So we are saying that it offers the learners the chance to observe organisms in their natural state and possibly collect samples and take back to school for further observation and learning. I remember when I was a student at the university, our lecture took us to where they manufacture palm oil, they produce palm oil. And then it goes to a process. It was an application of biotechnology lecture. So I saw the process of how palm oil is being produced, the stages of production, what goes into it from fermentation to cooking of the palm nuts and then pounding and then drilling of the oil. All these stages, I saw it with my eye. So field trips have benefits. One, it enables the learners learn in real life situation. Me, for instance, I learned how to produce palm oil, how palm oil is being produced. I still recall. The next one, it makes ideas learned in a classroom classified in the field. And then it makes easier understanding of abstract ideas. So in a classroom, we were taught the process of production of palm oil. So we are saying that it enables learners associate effectively with other members of the class and society. That is very true. So these are benefits of field trips. That is why it is advisable to sometimes take students out of the classroom for them to see what goes on outside the classroom. You teach them the theory, they have to feel the practical aspect. So we're also saying that it makes room for greater exchange of ideas among students due to high level of interaction. So when you send to the field trip, what students do they discuss among themselves? They exchange ideas. So while they are discussing, someone's idea will serve as a hypothesis. Let me say a hypothesis for the other. And then the other will build upon that to also formulate. And then the discussion goes on like that. Now, how to organize biological field trip? How? So there are 3 stages of a field trip. The first one is pre-visit preparation, and then the visit itself, and then post-visit. So now with the pre-visit preparation. Pre-visit preparation. So here, at this stage, all the needs, or let me say, all that needs to be done by both the teacher and the learners are put in place. So the reason for the visit is, or the reasons for the visit to the destination must be clear in the mind of the teacher. The teacher has to identify and then locate the place of visit where he can find what needs to be studied. So we are saying that the place of visit may be an industry or a forest or a water confluence or an abandoned farmland or a rock shore or many others. So the teacher should consider the distance and how the students are going to get to the site. So if a vehicle is to be used, he must ensure that a vehicle that is roadworthy and also operated by an experienced driver. So before you go to the site, a letter through the head of the school where the students are going to visit should be written to the management of the site. So the letter must specify the place of visit and ask for when a pre-visit to the site can be made by the teacher. So students must be told about the place of visit and what they will be going to see. So we are saying that the teacher may use films, pictures, among others, to show the students types of such places to visit. So the student must be told what they will need to take along on the trip. For example, the appropriate clothing, footwear, or goggles for eye protection, notebooks, pen, pencils, erasers, magnifying glass, among others. So what we are saying is that the teacher must seek permission from parents by making them sign consent forms, especially if the students are day students. That will allow them to be part of the trip. So the school authority and the district education directorate must permit that the trip must be undertaken. You can't just go without any authority notes from the district. So if the school is a boarding one, the hierarchy of administration must be informed. So if female students are included, the teacher must arrange to have a female teacher to accompany them to serve as a chaperone. So if the students need to take food along, they must be told and an arrangement must be made for food package. So all these things must be taken into consideration. That is the pre-visit preparation. The visit itself. The visit itself. So on the day of the visit, you have to compile a list of students to be embarked on the visit and then deposit a copy with the headmaster or his representative must also have a copy of the list. So assistant headmaster, academics, administration, they must have a copy. So you have to ensure that each student has all the needed materials because you've already done a pre-visit, you the teacher. So on arrival at the place or the site, you have to get the management of the site known. And then a tour guide will be introduced to the students. So the tour guide will brief us on how the tour will take place. So you have to encourage the students to be attentive and observant during the tour. And in the teacher, you need to accompany the students and be alert and also ensure that the students behave properly. So you have to know that any inaction or negligence on the part of the teacher can cause problem for himself and the school. So you have to know that if the visit is a local one where no permission is required before visiting, then you, the teacher, must make a prior visit to the site to make sure that what you intend the student to see there are to be seen before they embark the visit. So after the tour at the site, there should be a plenary session to offer opportunity to the student to ask pertinent questions for further clarification. So after that, the students should express gratitude to the management for the opportunity given. So if the students need to eat, they organize themselves for food, after which they board the vehicle back to school. So once the students are getting on board, if the teacher, you have to use your list to check if every student is on the trip or every student on the trip get or board the bus or the vehicle before leaving the site. So this is to ensure that all students or no student is left behind. So it is important for the teacher to realize that greater responsibility lies on you. The safety and then the return of the students of the trip lies on you. Now, post visit. So on arrival back at school, you have to further clarify what went on at the site. So you have to lead the discussion, you the teacher, answer students' questions. So this session is done in subsequent classroom. So if certain issues need further clarification, which is beyond you, the teacher's capability, then management will come in. That is management of the place of visit. They can invite the school for that. So if during the visit, filming can be done. So the students can watch the film, what went on around the visit, so that it will remind them of what they saw over there. So you have to show a letter of appreciation and then gratitude to the management of the school and the place of visit for giving you the opportunity to take your students to the place and then show them what you taught in the classroom. Project work. So when you say a project work is an extended piece of work on a particular topic where the content and the presentation are determined principally by the learners. So the project allows students to use their imagination of what they saw on the field and then they write a report. So after the trip, project work should follow. So you may put students in groups to work on the various aspects that focus on the trip. You have to encourage the student to design the plan of their project work and carry it out. And also they should collect data and analyze them and interpret the data. So when they are able to do that, this approach will offer the students the opportunity to develop their communication skills and tolerate one another. This one also sharpen their skills in planning and then recording data and then analyzing data, and then the ability to see trends and patterns in the data. We've learned a lot in this session. So in reviewing what we've learned, I ask you this question. What is biological field trip? 2. How will you organize a biological field trip? 3. Describe what happens at the pre-visit stage of a field trip. 4. Describe how to carry out biological science project and what benefit is a biological field trip to a student.